Good luck. Just a good luck. You know.
Okay, so how do you think, or if you do think that the burning culture is different than the normal culture, why do you think that is? What is it about burners that is different?
I think what's most different is the openness to experience. There's a lot of weird things. You're like walking down the road and there's like 12 guys who are wearing no pants and like penguin masks. You're like, okay, there they are. Cool. You know, and then, just anything that you could see shows up. And so I think it's really that openness to just explore life, to be different, to just stretch out that sense of your identity and just play with it and kind of see what it is and what it looks like when you experiment with it. And so I think that's the biggest difference. However, I think also within that it's exactly what's going on here, you know? Like 50,000 people build a city in the middle of the desert. And so, there's this flat canvas that people just show up on, turn it into whatever they want, pull it all, and then it's gone. But in that is everything that's going on here, but amplified. So if you're like a freak who's into weird things, there's a place over here for you. And if you're like less of a freak in a different kind of way, who's into a different thing, it's over here, and you're all just like still crossing paths just like you are here. It's just able to be open. And so you've got like belligerent drunks over here at this bar in this neighborhood, and you've got the rave going on over here, and you've got yoga and this retreat center and like healing arts going on here. So, anything that you could find here shows up there.
Except money.
Except money. So there's no money.
So talk about that.
So just that, there's no money. So everything.
So how does that work? So there's no capitalism or competition.
It's like essentially. No, there's none of that. You show up, and anywhere you want to be, if you want to be there and you're supposed to be there, you'll be there. And if not, there'll be a weird vibration, and then you'll go. But if you walk up to the bar, they're like, "What do you want to drink?" And that's it. There's no "What did you bring?" or everyone is just assumed to have brought themselves at least. And so you show up, and people are sharing things, and there's this guy with a hot dog stand, and suddenly there's all these people eating hot dogs, and then the hot dogs run out, and he goes and does whatever he does, And so it's just this constant giving of what you have, and I think that's what makes it what it is. It requires you to just let go of what you have so that it goes out into the world. And having done so, it ends up coming back. And so it's like, the more you can get rid of, the more it comes back.
So do you hear about taking, about stealing or taking, or do you hear about those kind of things out there?
I guess there's this weird group of people.
Did you say tribe?
This tribe, no, this cult, I don't know what they are. But people who, when the man is burning, everyone goes and circles around this space, right? And this whole, the man burns, and it's all this thing. So, when that happens, all the camps are empty. And so I guess there are people who will go between camps stealing stuff and pillaging. I didn't experience any of that, but I guess it's happened.
So the significance of the man burning, what is that? What is going on in that ceremony? Because that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I mean...
It's not, but
the
it
man
is.
a long time ago was some guys like wanting to burn something, and they built it into the shape of a man, and then they burned it. And then they did it another year, and more people came, and then San Francisco kicked them out, so they found this other place where they could do it, and more people came. So originally the man didn't mean anything, actually. It wasn't like meant to be like
They
the
were just
man
pyros?
or anything. They were just pyros, and they just built something, and it looked like a man, and they set it on fire. And so that's kind of funny that this whole culture of intentional art came out of a total lack of intention. There was nothing there except for like wanting to burn something. So people make all kinds of things out of it, and people show up and build and party and dance and there's all kinds of fire dancing and the man burning, and so I don't know. It means what I recognized when I got there was anything could mean anyone to anyone, and so for me, part of the man is the idea of the way you're supposed to do things, like the man, the system, the way things are supposed to be, the roles that you're supposed to have. The reality is it all breaks down when you get there. Like you show up at this ceremony, right? There's this Trojan horse burning, right? And the Trojan horse symbolizes all kinds of things for whoever, right? I had no idea. I never talked to the people, but the Trojan horse, they come in and kick Rome's ass from the inside by, and so there's certain symbolism in that you can make symbolism out of it. But you show up at this ceremony and there's like this art car over here, like blasting their music and all these drunk people dancing, and then like 20 feet away there's another art car and it's like blasting its music, and they're like clashing, and there's people dancing, and there's drunks and piles of bikes and people, and like not even paying attention to what's going on. And so while we are in this culture where tradition has defined our roles, so like you go to church and when it's time to sit you sit, and when it's time to stand and sing you stand and sing, and like here you get in line, and here and we know kind of like what we're supposed to be doing, and at Burning Man, no, none of that. It's all unwritten, and I think what it's doing is reminding us that the systems that we have are man-made. They're not natural systems. The natural systems are the fact that when you see like 150 bikes next to each other, there are pathways between them so that you can get to your bike. And that's natural because no one's going to park their bike in the pathway because they want to be able to get to their bike later. So natural things kind of come out of it. And you see the natural patterns that play themselves out. But all these kind of roles that have written our lives out before we even have them were made by somebody, and we don't actually have to play them out. We can write our own story, and so it's kind of an unweaving of that man.
So what would you say you have taken from that experience? And what do you take from being in the culture now?
Let's see. The biggest thing was inspiration. I mean, you show up there, and amazing things are being done. Like the craziest art. This 30-foot tall scorpion that's built around this car out of armor that drives around and like shoots fire and plays music. Just all the most beautiful things being built, and this desire to want to meet that height, like to do things as well as they've been done. And so that's the biggest thing I've gotten, is just that inspiration. And the other one is just to bring it into my life, to live unconventionally, to live by my own accord, my own intuition, and follow that. So that's the biggest one, is to live it, to live art.
So this is something that I've said to people who have wondered why I haven't been, or why I didn't go, or whatever. And I'll say,